Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing filmographies.
It's the 6th Spike Lee.
Malcolm X. This movie's from 1992. It's 3 hours and 22 minutes long. The exact same length as The Godfather Part 2.
It's quite long.
Had a budget? 33 mil.
I was thinking about that budget, seeing those period vehicles and whatnot and the outfits.
Worldwide gross, 48.1 mil. When the film went 5 mil over budget, Lee kicked in most of his own salary. But the financiers shut down post-production. Lee went public and raised funds from Oprah, Michael Jordan, and Bill Cosby to regain control of the project. After a positive screening of a rough cut, Warner Brothers kicked in more money, and Denzel put up his salary to get the film made as well.
Interesting.
The film features 3 generations of Washingtons. Denzel and his mother, Lennis Washington. John David's one of the kids that stands up at the end. I'm Malcolm X.
From Tenet?
Uh-huh. Well before that, though.
Yeah.
He was still aspiring to be a football player probably at this point.
Oh, I thought I remembered seeing a kid in there that looked very much like a young Denzel Washington.
And there
Denzel.
you go.
Maybe
That's
it was him.
Maybe. It was him. He had a yellow shirt on. He stood up. I'm John David Washington. They were like, no.
Backwards, forward, Tenet.
It's all in your mind. The scenes of President John F. Kennedy's assassination were taken directly from the film JFK.
Huh.
So much so that Vincent D'Onofrio is credited in this movie as playing Bill Newman.
Okay.
You believe that?
Yeah. That's so crazy that 63 Kennedy, 65 Malcolm, 68 Martin Luther King.
And Bobby thereafter. Because he announced the death of King at one of his rallies.
It's a lot of fucking assassinations.
The elevated train in the opening scene in Boston, it's actually New York City Transit Authority D-type museum cars that were built in 1927 and ran on the New York City BMT subway lines.
Okay.
Malcolm X worked as a porter in the New Haven Railroad.
Is that bacon lettuce tomato? Okay.
Thus concludes my train talk. Why don't you hit me with that synopsis?
I will do that. Do you see me livening up already? Because
Yeah.
we're talking about some Spike Lee.
And then you see the mountain of synopsis I wrote.
Oh, no, but you said you're... Oh, Jesus, yeah. Malcolm X. After growing up experiencing extreme racism and falling into a life of crime, Malcolm Red Little Denzel Washington finds his salvation in prison in the Nation of Islam. With the help and tutelage of Brother Baines, Albert Hall, Malcolm soon casts aside his slave name and becomes Malcolm X, and quickly becomes the de facto voice of the movement of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad L. Freeman Jr., a self-proclaimed messenger of the Prophet Muhammad, not pictured. After a warning of a looming betrayal against Malcolm by the hands of the Brotherhood from his wife Betty Shabazz, Angela Bassett, go unheeded, Malcolm eventually faces reality and realizes that not only are most of his fellow ministers as well as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself corrupt philanderers and crooks, they were also out to besmirch his name and ultimately plan to kill him. But those are the breaks when you adhere to devout faith in the land of the wicked, or if you are just Malcolm X.
We're probably going to get death threats for this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of that synopsis you just read. So the movie starts, and Spike Lee is walking down the street in a zoot suit.
Yeah.
Really leaning into it.
Yeah, how about that strut?
It's quite a strut.
That's the cool guy strut?
I guess. It reminded me of the wolf that wears the zoot suit.
Yeah,
right?
totally. That is exactly what it is.
He's got a huge feather.
What do you suppose that strut is? Like, it must
I don't know.
It's a swagger that people thought was cool?
I guess. I mean, I'm familiar with zoot suits, but outside of that cartoon, I've never seen any representation of a zoot suit walking like that.
Yeah.
You ever hear about the zoot suit riots?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Okay. So he's got a kid with him, and he goes into a barbershop because apparently he's a barberist. And for some reason, he's got Denzel locked away in a room.
Yeah, they let him out with his hair.
Yeah. And he puts what do they call it? The gonk? The conch?
Yeah, it's like lye and apple slices, right? Potato slices.
He's putting all sorts of shit in this damn thing.
It's If this was now, I would think they
It is
de-aged.
potato slices, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, is he cooking soup? Why is he at a barber shop?
No, then he pours all that lye in there and it fizzes up.
Yeah.
It looks like they de-aged him because he is. I think he's
Spike?
about 38. No,
Denzel. Okay.
Because when he comes out of that closet with that goofy hair, and that's probably not the right thing to say, but like the hair is just sticking.
It's
straight
John
up.
Turturro hair.
Yeah. When he comes out of there, he looks like a little boy.
He's looking pretty young. Yeah.
He's 38 at this point.
He's really tall too.
Is he?
He seems to be when he's with Elijah Muhammad, who might be just a shorter guy. But
Did you look at that guy on IMDb? They've got
Freeman Jr.?
They got a picture of him from Barney. Was it Barney Hall? What's the name of that show? That there's like an old legal show from the 50s or 60s. It's black and white.
Barney Hall?
I don't think it's called Barney Hall.
Perry Mason?
Barney something. No, but like he looks like just a goofy young dude.
Barney Miller?
And then he's Barney Miller. Barney Hall?
Yeah.
Barney Miller.
Okay.
Al Freeman Jr. wasn't on Barney Miller. The image Jason is talking about is credited as being from One Life to Live.
But he looks just like young and goofy, not at all like this respected elder in this movie.
His voice and cadence is so interesting.
He's really very good.
When he's talking like Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he fucking Gandhi? What's going on here?
This movie's bizarre.
Yeah, it is bizarre. I enjoy some elements of it. Others I don't know.
I'm kind of glad I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen it before. I remember the toilet scene, but other than that, not really much.
Yeah, so I want to send you the nasty quotes of the things they say, like when they tell him to get his head out of the toilet.
Yeah, oh God. Yeah, he's putting this conch on him to give him the straight hair.
Yeah.
And it works, but it burns the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh boy, don't you... He goes, this ain't nothing. He goes, oh yeah, wait a second.
Yeah.
And they have to hold him down and shit, and they put it on him, and boom. And when he comes out of it, he goes, just like a white man. And they all give him like skin.
Mm-hmm.
So now him and Spike are just zoot suit walking like mofos.
Yeah, as a duo.
It's so crazy. There's a one scene where, because he tells him, you got to swing your right arm, and then you got to use your left hand to touch your hat.
It's so interesting, like, what was cool back then.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, the other people in, like, respectable suits, I'm like, oh, these guys look sharp. These guys, they look kind of cool, but also pretty silly.
But everybody on the street's like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Right? And it's weird because when he then goes from Boston to New York and he's so out of place, I'm like, did he go to jail? How much time has passed that everybody's just like, look at this idiot?
No time, right?
No. It's just in New York, they're like, this is stupid, apparently. I don't know.
God, I'm just thinking about that wolf from the cartoon now and how racist that is. Like, it's just aggressively, it just wants to gobble people up and doing these, miming these gestures that we've just seen.
And he is losing his shit. His eyes are ballooning.
Oh, God.
Because of a white woman.
Yeah.
In that show. What do you think about that?
That's something.
Isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So he's dating a chick. She's pretty puritanic.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
She'll kiss you.
Spike Lee is dancing with a larger lady. He's into it, but he's not.
He says she's too big.
And then all of a sudden, Malcolm looks over and he sees a white woman. And I go, Rebecca Romaine Stamos?
What is this white lady doing?
How is she this old? What's going on here? Yeah, what is this honky doing here, right?
Yeah, she's like the only honky in the joint.
She calls him over.
Yeah.
And he comes over. And I was expecting some people to be like, but there isn't any of that. And Jason, this is a boner contender right here.
You like this lady?
She goes, take that girl home.
Mm-hmm. Walk, don't run.
Walk, don't run. This ain't going nowhere. I was like, ah.
Yeah, I like that too. And then later on, I don't like her vibe as much, but I like that aggressive.
It's like, whoa, this is something else right here. This is Red Shoe Diary territory.
Yeah, but that's like she's collecting Pokemon later on.
Yeah, and he's an idiot because he runs, just immediately drops her off, and she's
get
like,
the fuck out of here.
I know what you're doing. He's like, what are you talking about, baby? I gotta get up in the morning. And she's like, yeah, go fuck that white bitch.
I'm gonna, because you don't give none of that pussy.
I was surprised to see that they were dating later though. And he's on the beach with her, and they're making out, and she goes, have sex with me. And he goes, Nah, you probably should listen to your grandma
Yeah.
and not fuck with me.
Because it's sad. Like, she's
Yeah.
going to give it up because he's going to the other place. I don't think they ever, like, broke up. I think he's still
No, that's
dating
what I
her.
mean. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
surprised that she knew what he was doing, but she was like, okay.
Back then, man, you're the guy. You get to do that stuff.
And boy, I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of racial components to this movie. I was surprised.
What do you mean?
Like his parents, his mom's light skin.
Yeah, because she got raped. Her mom got raped by a white man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't go into it. And that's not true.
All right.
Apparently, his mom is from wherever he says she's from, man, later.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, there doesn't seem to be any evidence that she was raped. They insinuate that it was like a slave thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's true or not.
His mom's a hot lady. Is she Wesley Snipes' wife from Jungle Fever, I think?
Yes. Here's another thing. The Ku Klux Klan guys.
Yeah.
His
You know,
dad.
hey, can I just say?
Yeah.
Not cool guys.
They're not. They're stupid because
Yeah.
his dad's up there preaching, we need to go back to Africa. You think
Yeah.
they'd be like, yeah, here's some money.
Let's do some money drives
Instead,
together.
they're like, get out of here, N-word. He's like, I'm trying.
Yeah.
The fuck? You know?
I'm trying to get them all out of here, dude.
Yeah, dude, give me a hand.
Oh, it's like, hey, guys, don't go back to Africa. I'm pretty sure it's not good there.
Well, first off, you don't have citizenship,
Yeah.
so you can't just go back there.
I think
Plus,
the
Africans don't like African Americans and vice versa.
I imagine, and I think the infrastructure's bad. There's corruption
Mhm.
everywhere. Haven't they been taken advantage
It's going to be
of by
Jonestown all over again.
everybody? I was reading, I just like glanced over Jonestown. I was reading about the Brian's Jonestown Massacre band because I really
Band,
want to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
Dig again. And there's a 20th anniversary of a Dig XX that's got 40 new minutes of footage, like a catch up, I think.
Okay.
It's like 900 people that they killed.
Oh, gosh, was it that
Jonestown was
many?
huge. Yeah, it's like a lot. I didn't realize it
I thought
was
it
that
was like
many.
maybe 250, but
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people to trick into moving to a commune in Africa.
But-
South Africa?
No, it was in South America.
South America?
But what was crazy was it was kind of working. Like somehow they got permission to build this compound and
I
they were
think
farming.
well, I
but
think
then he
that
started
angle worked,
sexing
but then there was like nothing else to it,
Once
right?
you start sexing, yeah,
Yeah.
it gets a little out of hand. Same thing with that guy from Waco.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm gonna fuck your wife now. 'cause
I mean-
she's my child bride. And they're like, oh, all right.
It's the same thing in this movie. It's like, hey,
Ain't it though?
I'm your leader. I got good ideas. Oh, thank you for having good ideas. You're actually really improving our lives. Yeah, I get to fuck whoever I want
Mhm.
and also be mean to you.
Yeah, because he goes, I'm the only one.
Yeah.
I felt it was imperative. He's a, what am I doing? Carol Kane?
Yeah,
I
that is
felt
your...
that it was imperative that I plant my seed. Hello?
He's a real shithead.
Yeah, he is. But that comes later. So, Red's just rolling around. He's doing some shit. He meets up with Delroy Lindo, who's West Indian Andy or some shit. Archie.
And then, well, it's because he goes to that bar to get a drink after the
He
was it
zoot
Sonny
suits.
Liston. Who is it? Joe
Lewis.
Joe Lewis wins.
Yeah, he
Everybody's
knocks guys
celebrating
out.
in the streets. He goes in there, and the guy just like starts talking shit to him immediately. Takes his hat,
Yeah.
throws it behind the bar, and then he accidentally says something about
His mama.
his mama. Grabs that bottle, cracks him right in the head,
Yeah.
and fucking West Indian Archie's like, "Yep." Hey,
In
come back
reality, he just punched the guy in the mouth.
here.
The guy pulled out a blade, but they carted him off.
Oh.
Do they ever actually say why he left Boston?
Who?
Malcolm. Or was it just that the train he was working on went to New York? He's just there in a zoot suit and everybody's making fun of him.
I don't know.
They don't really say.
I thought he just went through because he's excited, but then he says he quit.
Because
But then
he says that, when did you put in your notice?
just now.
Yeah. But so, yeah, Andy guy, he's like, hey, I like the way you handle yourself. Here's Cadillac and that Slimmy Jim over there.
I like the crew.
Yeah, the one dude's greasy as fuck.
The guy with the
He's always
slick
sweating.
back hair.
Yeah, Cadillac.
Yeah.
And so he runs a little bit of a game on him to kind of gain his confidence, but he likes it. And it's not anything that's like egregious or,
Yeah.
libelous or anything.
No, I'm pretty into this movie at this point.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like I'm sucked in. It's not my favorite movie, but I'm interested. I'm enjoying the ride.
And honestly, once we got to the end of the movie, I wished some of that wasn't in there because I found it far more interesting to focus on what he was doing with the later portion of his life.
Yeah.
Once he did the Mecca Hajj and kind of started
reorienting
evolving.
himself and figuring. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I don't know how much of his life he was able to dedicate to that before he was murdered. Seemed like it maybe was not that much time.
It was pretty exciting to see him riding around on that camel, the real footage at the end. I was like, oh, that's fucking charming.
Because the studio was like, you're going to film this in the Jersey Shore. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. Actually, we're going to go to Egypt.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Nice.
Yeah.
God, Spike Lee's the best, right?
Yeah. Although Brother Baines, the guy that recruits Malcolm in jail, he doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's an amalgamation of people. It says that it was Malcolm's mother and sister that had turned him on to Islam while he was in jail, and not this guy.
Can I tell you, this Brother Baines guy, I could not be more bored than when he is meeting Brother Baines. I think Brother Baines stinks, and I'm not interested at all. And then check this out. As soon as he puts on the glasses later, I'm like, oh, this guy's good.
Here's the thing. When Denzel is back in Boston, because he betrays Indian Archie
West
or whatever.
Indian Archie, yeah.
He betrays him, sort of.
Well, he's like coked up and drinking, and he's like, he just decides to go ahead and rip him off. Well,
no, they're coked up and drinking, and he goes, I'm going to put a bet down on 218, 182, and something else, a combination of those three numbers. So then when they're at the restaurant, he goes, you owe me money.
Oh, so he did put money down on that number?
He threw some money on the floor. And West Indian Archie, he goes, I'm going to take you up on that. Don't think I'm not going to do it. And he goes, yeah, man, let it go or whatever. So then when they're at the restaurant, he goes, yeah, my number's hit 582 or whatever.
Oh, I thought it was some snaky bullshit where he just lied.
Well, so then he admits later that he did lie. The number combination that he gave, the three numbers, it wasn't the one that hit contained those three numbers, but it wasn't a combination that he had bet upon.
Oh.
So I think he was trying to pull a fast one.
Yeah, that's the implication I got.
But the bet, he did place the bet. He just, I think, was banking on the fact that they were all fucked up and he wouldn't remember.
That's fucked up.
Or he's all fucked up and he remembers it inaccurately.
Why you gotta fuck up? Why you gotta fuck with West Indian Archie?
I don't know, because that white bitch is just like, oh yeah, he said that.
Of course she did.
Right?
Of course she said that, yeah.
He does some real fucked up shit when they're in bed and he makes her feed him and kiss his foot.
Well, because she's a dirty white bitch. She's only with him because she likes black guys.
Of course.
There's like a real weird dynamic. Like she's collecting them.
Well, I don't know if she's collecting him so much as pulling the curtain back on a world that she's not initiated in. And he's her hall pass. But she also kind of likes it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she's down to roll with the feeding him. She's into it. I don't know, man. They're like, when they're fooling around in the car.
Yeah,
it does not seem like she's into him as a person. He's just like another black guy she's got.
It almost seems like she's there for whatever her reason is.
I'm here for a good, not a long time.
But she goes, slow down, and he like starts to put his hand on her neck. It almost seems like she's like, oh, I better just have sex with him so he doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. So they're meeting up with Smiley, who's, king shit of F Mountain.
Yeah.
Were
you excited to see him? He's
Boston.
good in this.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really good.
I wish he would have been a little bit more of it, but
we've only we got a taste of him in School Days. Not much there. He's front and center and Do the Right Thing. And then he's this fucking guy.
It's interesting. I wonder how much of a conscious effort it was not to use a lot of the same people.
He used a ton of them, though. You saw them. Like, they didn't have speaking roles, but like lots of the dude from School Days are part of his like Muslim Brotherhood crew.
Well, a lot of them show up as the hit squad.
Right, but also like as his crew, there's like there's at least one of the guys that's from School Days. I feel like there's at least two.
Okay. But I mean, like, there's no Joali.
No, I thought she was in there for a minute, and I was like, oh, that's not her.
Terrence Blanchard does the score without Bill Lee on this one. Sammy, Jack, he tried to get in there. He couldn't get him in there.
Why?
I don't know. For whatever reason, he just didn't want to play the role, or I don't know.
Maybe it was too small.
Scheduled.
Another unspeaking guy.
Yeah, maybe. But
no Bill Nunn.
Jesus Christ. So he's criming it up, and he seems like a hard shit guy, but then he gets busted, and then he's just crying in jail.
He's not crying. He's freaked out, right? Because
he's
they're
crying.
slamming stuff. Is he crying? That's not crying is tears. He's freaked out.
There's various levels of crying.
And then he fucking big dogs the guard.
And they throw him in solitary, and he's in there for quite a bit of time. The priest comes by, gives him a square. He goes, man, where the fuck is God, man? This is bullshit, son. And they let him out.
I'm out of here.
And that's when he's showering quite luxuriously.
By himself.
Putting his conch in his fucking hair. He's got that shit somehow.
Why?
I don't know. And the guy comes in, Brother Baines, he's like, here's some water and some nutmeg.
Yeah.
It'll chase the demon. But it's the only hit you're going to get from me, man.
This nutmeg water is pretty good, man.
And he goes, what's your deal? He's like, look at you, poison in your body. That conch and what have you, and the nutmeg I gave you, like a fool. And, he's talking that religious shit. And eventually Denzel's kind of hip to it a little bit, and...
man, you get dude, over time, you can get people.
Hell yeah.
Captive audience. Look at Ben.
Yeah.
Went full Republican, laughing at him on the talk radio, slowly evolved into...
It becomes ironic, and then it's no longer ironic.
Yeah, Trump's my hero now.
He's post-ironic now.
Yeah.
And so he starts digging it, and the dude's really teaching him, and he's really submitting, and he gets a letter from Elijah Muhammad, and he, has a Force Ghost premonition of him.
I've for sure. I find this so odd because there is a lot of good things he can take away from this religion, which I think is probably most of them, right? There's a ton of like helpful, beneficial things that can improve your life.
Yeah.
But then there's a bunch of like super backwards weird shit, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, if you just follow like the basic core tenets, you can kind of go backwards and save the world. But also in relation to religion, if you just kind of listen to the morals, it's like,
I
written
can live
down
a clean, better
good moral
life
compass.
with drive. Yeah.
But later in the movie, when he's talking to Angela Bassett, he says when considering marriage, height and complexion are two big factors. And the woman should be half the man's age plus 7.
Yeah. That's super creepy. And
Isn't
weird.
that super like bizarre and like specific?
Mm-hmm.
And she's
Some
all
Elijah
like,
Muhammad shit, right?
yeah, he even says it. And they must be able to sew and cook and things of that nature.
Shit's fucked up and weird.
Yeah.
But then they're also like, you can fuck.
Yeah,
This isn't like this isn't like Christianity where you need to save yourself for marriage. You can fuck. Go ahead. Fuck all them dumb hoes. Don't fuck white girls.
No, God, no.
No, that's so crazy when that white girl comes up and she's like, I really appreciate what you're saying, and I'm wondering what I can do to help the cause. You can't.
Nothing. Yeah.
Which I kind of love. Get
In reality, there was a situation quite similar to that. And he said that once he went to South Africa and he saw white people helping black people and was confronted with the realities of race outside of the confines of the country's issues with racism, that interaction with that girl always stuck with him. And he felt so bad. She was crying, what the fuck is with that dude who, I mean, I know he's part of the crew and maybe that's a sign, but twice Bunk goes, "Get your hand out of my pocket!"
What is that situation about?
I don't know.
I wondered about that when it happened at the end of the movie.
When it happened the first time, it was like super weird.
Who's Bunk?
From The Wire.
He's not part of their crew? Is he just a random guy? Is he a distraction set up to allow a hit?
That's
and
what
there was a missed hit initially?
Yeah, because the second time he throws down like a smoke bomb or something.
Get your hand out of my pocket! Get your hand out of my pocket, nigga!
Yeah, so he's part of it.
He's part of it. But the first time, I'm like, what? That's such a weird thing to say, especially since nobody's next to him and or with their hand in his pocket.
Yeah, it's okay. It's definitely part of a hit squad.
It's got to be. But why the first time? Maybe the first time is when he was supposed to be killed. I don't know.
His name Wendell Pierce?
Yeah. So he's rolling hard now. He ends up coming out of jail, meets Elijah Muhammad. And he's like, yes, you are a good guy.
Man, religion really creeps me out so much. I really just find it so creepy. Like, there's just like, I'm sure this reads more into me, but it always seems like there's a weird sexual submissive component to like meeting your religious leaders. I don't like that. I find it uncomfortable and...
Well, because when you first meet him, he's just an old guy.
Yeah.
And this seems like some sort of a weird grassroots thing.
In his castle.
And in all honesty, it's not a bad religion. If I had to choose one without all like the hardcore shit, it's got a strong foundation for like more so than I think Christianity and Judaism specifically.
Sure.
Islam just sort of seems to have a foundation of like respecting yourself.
Yeah, and furthering
caring
your education.
for yourself. Yeah.
Which is like, that's so beneficial for everyone.
The swine thing's a little specific.
Well, that's like that weird outdated stuff when the pig was dirty before they could properly clean pork.
Well, yeah.
Could get
and they're like,
trichinosis from it and die.
Yeah, but pigs, they wallow in filth and shit, but they're also notoriously smart.
Yeah.
And clean.
Pig's a filthy
outside
animal.
of the sty.
Sewer rat tastes like pumpkin pie. I ain't gonna eat that shit.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, fine. I don't eat pork anyway, so
Yeah.
no big deal, And I'm like, word, this, I mean, it's given this guy, there's a clear trajectory from the man he was to the man he becomes.
Uh-huh.
It isn't just like a weird montage or something, and he's just this guy now.
Yeah.
I don't know if we needed as much of the backstory to get to this point.
Sure.
But whatever, right? So he's rolling around hard now for Elijah Muhammad. And this is when it starts to get weird. Because every time they do a rally, Elijah's sitting in like a throne with shades on and like a military style outfit and like gloves. He looks like Michael Jackson.
Or Huey Newton?
Or Muhammad Gaddafi.
Who's the fucking Black Panther?
Yeah, Huey Newton.
Okay.
In the news.
Yeah. I need
You see Al Sharpton in this
beret.
movie?
Yeah, is it Al Sharpton and Martin Luther King?
No, the other guy.
Oh wait, it's Al Sharpton and is it Jesse Jackson?
No.
It's not the two speakers. They hit them both and then they cut to Malcolm X.
No. I want to say, is it Marcus Garvey?
See, every time somebody says Marcus Garvey, I'm like, wasn't that a basketball player? It's not, right?
I know.
Who am I thinking of?
Why is this not searching?
Kevin Garnett.
There it is. Slow.
Jules' friend Kevin Garnett.
I love KG. Him and I, we get along. We go back a ways, too. You don't know that.
No, I do. You told me.
Oh.
Dr. Dorito.
Boy, I really hate this app.
IMDb?
Yeah. Probably not going to find it.
You gotta go to Fullcast, right?
Bobby Seale.
They're one of the famous
founder of the
Black
Black
Panthers?
Panther.
Okay.
Yeah. He wrote the movie. Black Panther. Al Sharpton's all fat and shit back in the day.
He wrote the movie Black Panther?
Yeah.
Is there a movie called Black Panther or are you thinking about Panther?
No, Black Panther.
There's a movie
The Marvel
called...
movie.
Oh my God.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
Jeez, wow. All right.
Cultural paradigm.
Wow. So they... I just realized how stupid it is that they created a character called Black Panther.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the black hero. Black Panther.
But so he's rolling around and he's like talking and shit, and people are starting to like dig it. Women are wearing like...
He gets personable. There's like a moment where it clicks and he gets up in people's faces.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, excuse me. And he gets
Hey,
them
man,
one
you're
by
here
one.
every week. What do they do for you, these white motherfuckers?
Nothing.
And so he's basically... And Elijah Muhammad's just got a raging heart on the whole time. He's just like, yes. He's like Snoke. Oh, I love it. And so Malcolm does meet his wife.
Yeah.
But she's not his wife at the time.
No.
And this later on, he calls her up and he goes, I'm in Detroit. She goes, oh, word. And he goes, will you marry me? She goes, yes. The conviction in her voice is so fucking authentic. She's in Black Panther too, by the way.
Is she?
Yeah.
I know that she often asks me what's love got to do with it. It's a secondhand emotion. I like Angela Bassett. Like I was trying to figure out if she's like gorgeous,
yes,
or if there's just like a otherworldly talent and energy that's pulling me into her.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And she's also very talented.
Yeah, she's really good.
She is super good. She doesn't have a lot to do in here.
No, but she's commanding in like all of her scenes. She's like toe to toe with Denzel.
Yeah. And she's like, let's do it. And I want to have so many babies with you.
Yeah, like a whole crew.
And I was like, boing. And so they're married now and they have a kid and Malcolm's doing his thing. He's teaching motherfuckers and he's rolling around hard. And the other ministers are starting to look at him a little sideways like, this dude, I don't know. He's got too much power.
Yep. One man shouldn't have so much
Power. Yeah, he goes, I don't like that shit. And Elijah Muhammad's like, you dumb motherfucker. He's making that paper. Shut up.
He's living in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment while I live in my castle. Shut up, let this guy bring in the cash.
But people are really drawn to him. He's got 2 bodyguard dudes. They roll hard with him, real hard.
So when they showed the footage of him at the end, Denzel was like really good casting. Like they don't necessarily look alike, but there's a charisma that comes off them both. Like Malcolm X seems really interesting and draws you in. Like he's very charismatic.
Well, because Denzel was in a play about Malcolm X and Elijah, and he admitted at the time that he didn't know anything really about Malcolm X. So for this, he read a lot. He actually gave up pork. He went to the Brotherhood meetings and really tried to, embody the character. There was some kerfuffle when he was cast. Oddly enough, people were like, he's too dark.
Yeah.
And his red hair is a little silly, but, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
And Spike Lee shows up later, fresh out of jail. And he's just like,
take it easy, Greasy. This is me, Shorty. Let's go around the corner.
No, sir. Not anymore. I've been clean for 8 years, bro.
8 years?
He's like, nah, man, this is the way.
No, this is the way. Like Mando? I was going to say I'm about it, but no, this is the way.
And he goes, let me hook you up. He goes, nah, and then I'll never be back in the rest of this movie.
My trouble is I love pigs, feet, and white women too much.
I just keep expecting people to fall into the background and be part of the crew.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to show up and be there.
Be back there, one of the silent faces that's in suits. Good looking suits.
Or, better yet, be himself, but he's like the outside voice of reason.
Okay.
Because so later, Angela Bassett, she goes, look, you're never here. We got all these kids. We don't have shit for money. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers are rolling around in Cadillacs. And he goes, well, you want money? What the fuck? And she's like, we can't barely survive, man. And not only that, but I think they don't like you, and they're probably going to try to kill you.
Yeah.
And we do see West Indian Archie briefly again. Now that Denzel's like Neo, he goes to like visit him.
Well, he also sent him a letter while he's in jail, apologizing, but also trying to lure him into the Muslim Brotherhood.
And they laugh.
And they're laughing at him. Yeah.
And this was so interesting because he finds him and he's in like just a shit flop house. Detritus is littered everywhere. And he had a stroke, maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Or, I mean, I guess it could be something else.
It could be the drugs, but it feels like he's slurring. He can't move his arm.
Yeah.
Help me with my arm.
They said he needs to exercise it, and Denzel's fucking...
It's better? Yeah, it feels good.
I thought we were going to see him retire him or something.
Yeah.
And he would be around.
And I was also like picturing like maybe he could assign a guy to take care of him.
Yeah.
If that,
They was going to bring him in and they were going to whatever.
But
we never see him again.
God, is it so sad when he's like, how's that feel when he's exercising? I was like, it feels good.
He just good. Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah.
Oh, man, it's just like, it's
God.
real sad. And they also, when Spike Lee does show up, he asks them about the old crew and he's like, what happened to these people? And it's, what'd you call the one guy with the slicked back hair?
Cadillac.
He died on top of a woman.
Yeah, with $25,000 in his pocket.
Yeah, and the other guy, the other like hitman guy or whatever,
Slick Willie or whatever,
he's in a mental hospital, strung out on heroin.
Yeah,
and
just in
then
his underwear.
His original girlfriend before he started dating the white girl, she's like a prostitute.
We've
now.
seen her hooking though.
But I thought he was gonna go rescue her
Throughout
when
the
she brings
movie.
that guy in and starts sucking his dick. I thought he was gonna roll up and save her.
Well, she brings that guy in and he wants $5.
Yeah.
And he goes, she hooking? She goes, nah, but it won't be much longer.
Any day now.
And then later when we see him walking down the street as Malcolm X and all those hookers are coming onto him.
Yeah.
We see her with a white guy.
Okay, she is in that zone.
And she takes him into an alcove and blows him.
But he doesn't see her?
No, she sees him. And it's like...
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's
it does suck. Yeah.
It did seem like he was getting it was like the X-Men or like a getting the gang back together movie for a minute, but it's not.
It legit just seemed like he was saving people, you know?
Yeah.
But we never see West Andy Charlie again. And, you know, he's doing his thing. He realizes that his wife was correct. Forces are conspiring against him, to quote JFK.
They keep him out of the newspapers,
Yeah.
the Elijah Muhammad's newspaper.
He made a comment about JFK. He's glad he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Elijah Muhammad, he's like, you've crossed the line. You must not speak for 90 days. And they boot him out. And Brother Baines looks at him like, you HN, closes the curtain on him. And so...
Is this the movie? Yeah, he does the big monologue about the HNs, right?
Yeah.
In this movie? Yeah, it's good. It's interesting.
Because he's at odds with Martin Luther King. And it's really funny. Later in the movie, when he's being surveilled, two white guys from some government agency are listening to a phone conversation.
You speak of Matthew Slaughter from Trust?
Yeah.
Martin Donovan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Malcolm X is having a phone conversation with his wife. And he's just like, yeah, I miss you and the babies and I love you and all this shit. And one of the white guys listening goes to the other white guy, man, Martin makes this guy look like a monk.
Yeah, he's got no, there's no dirt to be gotten upon him.
Because Martin Luther King was a fucker.
Yeah, well, everybody's fucking.
Yeah,
They're horny.
Fucking, yeah.
You get a little power. Girls are like, please fuck me.
And the way they look at you, yeah.
Definitely yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah.
You know what girls do when I walk down the street? I don't know because I look down at the sidewalk because I know they don't like me.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to look at them.
Yeah, I won't make eye contact because I get embarrassed and sad.
Yeah, because you can't even compliment women anymore.
No. Right. Hey, sweet tits. Oh, fuck.
Shit, I'm getting canceled because of that.
What's that thing smell like? I bet it's good.
But so he's like, you know what? I got to get out of here. I'm about to go to the Mecca. And this was the first non-documentary American film allowed to film in Mecca. You believe that? And he just starts meeting all these motherfuckers. Whites.
You're lying.
Other whites.
Mm-hmm.
Couple whites. And he's just like, wow, these whites, you know. They down for the cause, man.
They're still whites when they're in other countries. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
These are like white Muslims, though. These are like
they're Muslims to them, there, but when they leave there and go back to wherever those crackers are from, they're just whites all day long. And he's fucking loving it, and he's singing the Quran, and he's washing his face, and
is that Quran, Quran, Quran? I will not burn you.
And he's found his shit. And so he sets up a press conference when he gets back, and he's like, I was totally wrong. One of his boys earlier in the movie, he goes, yeah, they actually told me to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But I love you.
Yeah.
He's the son of Baines, maybe.
Is that what's up?
Because he goes, go back to your dad.
Huh.
I'm with you. He goes, nah, I love you, buddy, but get out of here. At that point, he denounces the Brotherhood, says we're no longer affiliated. I said some shit I shouldn't have about whites and such, and I kind of take it back. And then he goes on his pilgrimage and he comes back and he's like, yeah, I'm totally like not about that shit anymore. In fact, white people can help us and we need their help, as well as other different types of people.
Hey, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't kill the civil rights leaders?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, where would we be now if we had like these strong, powerful people like bringing people together instead of...
Yeah, it's so insane because this movie makes a lot of sense. You know, he's like, no offense, but these guys are devils.
Yeah, the white people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they subjugate us and they're just afraid. And these guys like the Black Panther, like they organized like
food drives.
They fed children.
It was like a neighborhood thing, like taking care of your area.
Self-respect, self-discipline. You know, like Malcolm X said, if, you know, you as a white person were like beat up and subjugated and you decided to get a gun to protect yourself, I totally understand that. So why is it such a weird thing that we would want a gun to protect ourselves after all of these atrocities, you know?
This doesn't hold true now, thanks to Republicans and Trump. But like 10 years ago, all the like old people that had conspiracy signs and shit, they were right. All this like weirdo shit where you're like, oh, these people are crazy. It's like, no, they're old and the government's fucking you. Nobody's gonna help you. Corporations have destroyed the planet. Like everybody's gonna fuck you. Like there used to be signs on people's lawns about the bad air in Northeast. Yeah, because there's that fucking plant over there that was pumping out heavy metals into the air.
Yeah.
Now it's, you know, fuck Biden and go Trump and
Right.
it's Benghazi and all sorts of crazy shit. But, you know, for a while there, all those weird old people that seemed like they were trying to sell you on some strange conspiracies were completely correct.
Yes. Except for JFK. That was probably pretty much exactly as they said it happened.
Ruby,
That's neither here nor there.
are you gonna pick Jif at some point?
I got a couple of them in the pipe.
I'm always excited for your picks.
And so, you know, he's like going to give a speech and he's going to talk about his manifesto, but he's getting premonitions of his demise.
Well, the whole movie, well, not the whole movie, 2 or 3 times there's been like him fake getting shot and falling to the ground, like him and Spike Lee playing in the park.
Yes.
He gets shot and he falls. There's another time too where
Throughout
it's like
the film,
maybe somebody points at him and shoots.
There's 2 or 3 moments in the movie
I believe they call it foreshadowing.
where somebody pounds on a desk or makes a gesture
Your screams get your
and
hand
there's a
out of my
gunshot
pocket.
sound effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy pounds on the desk and it's the and then he says something and it's the when Spike shoots Denzel with his hand, there's an actual gunshot sound. Man, I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up. Those guys are what, 25?
Ooh.
They're Denzel and Spike?
You know, when we first meet Denzel, he's supposed to be a teenager when he's in that barbershop.
Okay, so
Did you
they're
know that? I thought that was
20-year-old
crazy.
No, yeah. They're 20-year-old dudes in zoot suits playing finger guns in the park.
I know, isn't that so silly?
It's so silly.
It's unbelievable. I was
Jumping
thinking about
over
that too.
benches and you got me, I'm Cagney and shit. I'm just
Is
like,
it? It's the late 40s. Is that what's going on there?
Christ. Yeah, it's got to be.
Because I was quite confused.
He was
by it.
born in 30 something. And this is the first Spike movie where he's really not a predominant player.
He's heavy for a minute. And then he's
For a
gone.
brief minute, yeah, when they're juicing their hair. But so he shows up to do a speech. They're playing Trouble Man, I think. It's very ominous. Earlier in the movie, a guy gets beat up and he wrangles his crew to go get him out of jail,
Yeah,
put him in the hospital. Peter Boyle.
this movie's got weird.
Debbie Mazar is
Yeah.
dating Spike.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Imperioli is in here as a interview guy, a newspaper guy.
Yeah.
David Fichtner was supposed to be in here.
Are you talking about the guy who created Seven, or are you talking about William Fichtner?
William Fichtner,
Okay.
David Finchner's brother. He got paid for the part, but he wasn't actually ever filmed.
Okay.
And there's another guy in here where I'm like, oh, fucking Adam Schiff.
Richard Schiff.
He
Oh,
he blurts
from-
out, "You still think white people are the devil?"
Yeah. And T-Bird's the teacher.
He's the racist
and,
teacher.
And the hot lady Karen Ellen from Starman.
Oh man, when she popped up, I was like, "Wow, who's that gorgeous
She's
woman?"
so beautiful. She's
Is that
really so
Superman's wife?
good. Yeah. No,
not.
that's Margot Kidder.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, that's Karen Allen."
God,
Fuck me,
she's gorgeous.
she is. Whoa.
Maybe we can still be her boyfriend.
I would. Yeah,
Did you love seeing T-Bird in this?
What are you talking about? No.
it was cool.
Oh, you weren't like enamored with him at all?
No,
Oh, I found him really interesting because, like, I don't know, man. He's basically T-Bird forever in my head, and I know he's in the Warriors, and like I remember him clicking the bottles.
yeah.
But like when I see him doing a regular role and dropping the M-bomb,
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's exciting to see him. I
Yeah.
like him. I like to see him. It didn't work as well on you.
No, but maybe because I knew he was in there, because you blathered it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's an interesting part of the movie because,
He's giving him that speech about how you're an M-word and you do N-word jobs. You don't get to be a lawyer.
Well,
You
yeah.
get to be a mechanic.
and Malcolm's saying, like, how much better would the world be if people who were actually good at things were allowed to just pursue them,
Fucking yeah.
right? Like, instead of having the guy who might be the next Einstein, you relegate him to be a janitor because he's black.
God, it's fucking crazy because like we've advanced a decent amount,
Yeah.
but I imagine this is still happening pretty regularly. Not as blatantly.
Right.
It's going to be some low-key white bullshit, but it's the same thing.
And it's so funny how much of the victim white people pretend to be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, diversity hiring, or,
Yeah.
you know, critical race theory makes us feel bad.
Yeah.
like-
You guys are bad.
Yeah. Well, first off, if you feel bad for something you didn't even do,
Yeah.
you got some shit going on there.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, we know you didn't do that stuff. Acknowledge it and figure out how it works into your daily life.
Because that's what the girl says. She goes, look, my ancestors were bad. I get that. But
Yeah.
I really want to help. You know,
Yeah.
what can I do?
Nothing. Get out of here.
Skank. You could blow me.
I do find young white college students obnoxious though. So I did get a kick out of it when he's like, get
She's
the
like,
fuck out of here.
So he's doing his speech. He gives his buddy a hug because he's like, I'm about to get killed. Slightly before this, we're all of a sudden dropped on a scene of Giancarlo Esposito and 4 other guys in some sort of a basement. And they're all just like racking the shit out of guns.
Mm-hmm. They look pretty cool though.
And then one guy's got the sawed off and he's looking at it like he's going down the sights, pointing it directly at the guy across from him on the table. And I'm like, okay, this is odd.
Pretty much Giancarlo pulls my attention in all of these scenes. So like when they're driving in the car, when Denzel's driving in the car, I just keep thinking about like how interesting and cool Giancarlo looks.
Yeah.
Like I'm really excited to see him. He's playing a completely different character than I've seen in the other 2 movies.
Yeah.
He's not bugging out and he's not the dickhead in Glory Days.
Right.
It's just like I'm drawn in. Oh, what? I don't remember his name.
School Days.
Oh, I've been doing that forever. I'm so sorry.
Glory's on your
Spike, I'm
mind.
sorry.
Yeah.
School
Yeah, no,
Days is
because
much better.
when Malcolm X's daughter drops her Cabbage Patch doll or whatever, he picks it up. Hey, darling, you dropped your doll. And he's all
warm
like,
smile, warm smile, warm smile.
Oh, you're so beautiful. You're a good kid.
She turns around and walks away. Mean face.
Melts.
I'm a bad guy.
So much so
I'm gonna
that
kill
if
your dad.
anybody else were looking, they'd be like, oh, that's weird.
This guy, I think this guy might be a bad guy.
Yeah, watch this guy. So, Malcolm comes out. He does his thing. He's like, yeah, this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, get your head out of my pocket. And then he lights something and he throws it down and it starts smoking. And everybody starts panicking. And
It's the craziest like diversionary tactic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary also.
Yeah, you just walk right up and shoot him.
Yeah, he just walks up and he just one shotgun blast to his left chest.
It seems like he would like duck and dodge, do something, but he just kind of stands there and accepts his fate.
A lot of these guys just resign to the fact that they're going to be dead. I don't get it.
I mean, a lot of times I guess there's
Maybe he needed it.
a delay, right?
Yeah.
I know that, man, Jenny, we used to like joke around. She'd start like slapping me in the face. She'd always get me like 3 times before I react at all. Like I always be like kind of giggling as she's hit me in the face. Like it takes me a while to stop her. And I think that's how you would easily kill me.
So for some reason, I don't know what I had been exposed to because I didn't really know anything about Malcolm X before this other than his iconic look.
I think just like militant black man is what I in my mind.
Yeah,
Doesn't like white people.
For some reason, I was under the impression that somebody close to him in the Brotherhood shot him.
I assumed the government did it until I watched this movie, and I was like, "Oh, Elijah Muhammad's people."
Specifically shot him in like an office or something. Not like, in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess not. So yeah, they shoot him in the chest with one of the 2 bullets in the gun. The second one hits him in the other chest. He goes flying back.
His second chest,
And then 2 guys walk up
and unload their
and
guns.
just start
at him.
shooting his dying body with pistols.
Pistol.
He's dancing.
It's not bang, bang, bang. It's pistol. It's the son of a-
And then everybody starts bugging out and they start running away. Giancarlo gets shot in the butt.
Jules looked really pleased with themselves and they're all bucking out.
Another guy gets away, but Giancarlo doesn't, and they grab him and they drag him outside and just start beating the shit out of him. And the cops come up and they're beating everybody and they're getting beat up. And his wife, Angela Bassett's inside, like, call a fucking ambulance.
All of his kids were there watching his speech too.
Yeah,
they
they got-
watched their dad get shot in front of them.
Probably blood splattered on them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dead. And, we get some montage stuff and it's real solemn. It's probably about another 10 minutes. That's just like it's just like the post-death footage and shit.
Yeah.
And Nelson Mandela makes a selfish cameo.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's so old.
Back in 1992. Yeah.
But
He
the weird
dead now?
part is yeah, oh yeah.
Long dead.
When they show footage of like the kids standing up and just like general sweeping shots of like the neighborhood, the quality of that footage felt like contemporary.
Oh.
It didn't feel like 1992 quality footage. I'm like, what is going on here? Is
I
this
think-
added?
Is it in a Blu-ray? Where did you watch this?
I bought it on Amazon
Probably Blu-ray footage.
with like new stuff added, or just the quality is
No,
good.
just
Because the movie just looks, fine quality wise, and then all of a sudden it's like almost like a revelation.
Oh.
This part of the film, but whatever. So, yeah, the movie's over. And that was Malcolm X,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a fine movie.
Yeah. 3 hours and 22 minutes is a lot. It's not The Godfather 2. Godfather 2 is like really satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is what we have to compare it to because it's the exact same length.
Yeah, well, it's about a guy and it's real. I don't know.
I'd say probably like 60% of the movie I was pretty darn into.
Yeah.
And probably the other 40% I was like, okay, this movie's 3 hours and 22 minutes.
I mean, I'd liked a lot of the crime stuff and the Spike Lee stuff and the Delroy Lindo stuff, but
Yep.
I really started to get into it once he got into jail.
See, the thing, like, okay, so I was into the crime. You get into the jail, I bottomed out immediately. As
Okay.
soon as Brother Baines is trying to lure him in,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but I mean, this is like, what, a 5-minute sequence? I immediately lost interest in the movie.
Yeah.
But by the time he gets out of jail and he's spreading the word, I'm back in pretty good.
Sure.
I like this movie. I don't like it a lot. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever actually sit through it again,
I would never sit through it again.
but yeah, it was a fairly good watch. I wonder what it would have been like watching this at the time it came out.
Probably boring.
Probably.
Yeah. This seems like in retrospect more interesting than it was at the time. What do you give the movie?
Boy. I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah.
Almost went with a 0.5, but not quite there.
I almost want to give it a 5.9 just to like not give it a 6
Yeah.
because it is just too much. If a movie is 3 hours and 22 minutes,
Mhm.
you kind of need to grip me the whole time.
Yeah.
You can maybe lose me a tiny bit.
Yeah.
This isn't that.
Who do we watch this for? Oh, we watched this for Spike Lee. What do you give Spike?
I like him in this. I mean, I give him like a. I give him like a 6 something.
Yeah.
I don't know, 6. I'll give him a 6.
6.5. So that's it, man. We're really steaming through this Spike Lee filmography.
Yeah, Spike Lee, you're definitely listening, right? No, this is, you know what? Out of everybody,
Mhm.
I would not expect Spike Lee to be listening.
I bet his aide was like, "Hey, did you hear about this podcast? Oh yeah, wait a second. One of them's white."
I mean, that's what I came into the podcast feeling like. I felt like a real piece of shit trying to like Spike Lee, and I thought he'd be mean to me. I don't necessarily feel that way now. I feel like he would have no interest in a podcast.
No.
Not at all. He's busy directing. For some reason, I think actors might be more interested in hearing people talk about their stuff.
Oh yeah.
Spike Lee, no.
No.
But Spike, 763-634-1897. We really like you, and this has been an interesting adventure.
Mm-hmm. This so far hasn't. Oh
We
my
get
God! I
that?
forgot to mention it. He
The float
float
walk.
walks. This is the definitive float walk.
Uh-huh.
He is just
Is it
out
the
of
first one?
No,
When did we see
What do you
this
mean?
before?
it's in Jungle Fever.
Oh.
They float walk on their date. He float walks in Mo Better Blues.
Okay.
He's float spins in Mo Better Blues too.
But we watched those separately from this, so
Yeah.
it wasn't in Do the Right Thing prior to that.
No, and he couldn't quite do it in She's Gotta Have It. Tried to do it, but he didn't have the dolly or whatever he uses, the shopping cart. This is the definitive float walk right here, boy.
Okay.
So that's it. We're on Linktree for our stuff. You can go to nowplaynetwork.net. There's probably some QAnon podcast on there you can listen to.
Whoa, you're gonna throw Jim under the bus like that? Oh, because
It's not Jim's fault.
Because it's not his fault.
He's welcoming to all.
Oh,
It's not his podcast.
both sides?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good people.
Mm.
You can rate us on Apple Podcast and leave a suggestion for a movie. And if, it turns out that you aren't a liar and your rating comes through, we'll watch that movie.
But by rating, he means review. Has to be a review. You could not take a picture of your 4 or 5 stars and be like, "We did it."
It's got to be 5 stars, though.
It doesn't have to be 5 stars. It just has to
The
be
review
a rating.
has to have no less
Review.
than 150 words
Okay.
in it. The review,
Yeah.
right? That you're reviewing.
I don't know how many words that has to be, but
No, I'm saying it has to be.
okay. We'll see you next up, Crooklyn. Well, I've been Jason.
And I've been Jules.
And
Good night.
night.